Hey everybody, before I get started, I just want to mention a couple of ways that you can engage with me on a more personal level. I have a few avenues set up and I keep focusing on one, and I figured, why don't I make a short little video talking about all of them real quick before we get into these episodes. So first thing, Patreon. There's a link in the episode description, and every episode description to the Patreon, as well as a video on the feed called Major Announcement that has all the details of what each tier offers and how much they cost. I implore you to check that out. I offer a lot of cool shit for my patrons. Second thing, the Discord channel. There's also a Discord link in the episode description, and in every episode description, I have multiple channels set up there for each show that I'm covering, and it's a great way to just engage with me. I have a channel set up for MMA talk as well. I'm a big MMA fan, so if you're an MMA fan, you can check that out as well. There's a link to the Discord in the episode description. And then lastly, the Facebook and Twitter. Social media. Follow me on there. I post news on there. When I say news, I mean like, hey, I'm stopping covering this show. Hey, I'm starting covering this show. Let me know what you think about this. I do live watches of things on Facebook where like I'll check in and say, I'm watching so-and-so show. And then I'll like live comment while I'm watching it. And that'll be cool if maybe you watch that show too and you want to watch along with me, or you're watching it later and you will see my thoughts, which are usually pretty entertaining because I'm usually pretty high when I'm writing them. So check out all those links in each episode description, and let's talk about this episode. Peace.
One mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic.
Hey everybody, welcome back to One Mic, and here I am with another movie review. So far after the last one, but many years after the one that preceded the Oppenheimer one. Here I am with another movie review, and up front, before anyone wants to tell me that it's called Barbie and not the Barbie movie like I have in the the video title. I know it's not called the Barbie movie, but I didn't want to write Barbie review because I just kind of felt like that would muddy the waters of what this video is going to be about. But yes, here I am with another movie review to talk about the Barbie movie, which I'm sure is probably pretty surprising to the loyal fans of this channel who are accustomed to be reviewing the highest quality premiere television that exists. But here I am to talk about the Barbie movie, and probably somewhat of a shocker, but I saw it, and I have a channel where I review stuff, so why not? And I didn't see it because I have 3 daughters, which I do have 3 daughters, but that's not why I saw it. I saw it because I kept hearing it was a really good fucking movie, and I wanted to see for myself. And who'd have thunk it? It is a really good fucking movie. However, I want to stop right there with it was a really good fucking movie, because I want to stop before I get into any kind of hyperbole. It's not important. It's not groundbreaking or any of these wildly exaggerated descriptors you've heard. Everyone's always competing with everyone else to see how wildly they can exaggerate the greatness or shittiness of something, and that's still happening here. You could say it's a really good fucking movie, and that's very high praise, particularly coming from me, but you don't have to top everyone else's praise by acting like it's the next Kubrick film or some shit like that. R.I.P. to one of the GOATs. But again, it is a really good fucking movie, and what makes it great is how clever it is. And I think that's the most accurate descriptor, much more so than important or groundbreaking or something like that. It takes commonly held beliefs about Barbie regarding the negative impact Barbie has had or is believed to have had on like things like body image for little girls, and it flips that into a powerful feminist message about how strong women can be and how patriarchy has harmed their psyche and what they believe they're capable of. And it's more about just what Barbie looks like. And I really appreciated that message being told in a clever and creative way with something like Barbie, and that's what makes this movie special. The message in and of itself, it's not really anything new. You could hear that message watching fucking CNN. Somebody will talk about some shit about some espousing some feminist ideals or anti-man patriarchy shit. It's nothing new. It's happening a lot right now in this world. Nothing crazy. It's the fact that they used Barbie smartly and creatively in order to relay that message. That's what makes the movie special. And now I think it's a good time to kind of briefly explain what the movie is about, just on a surface level, just so you can get an idea of the concept. And then I'll continue to talk about the number of additional things that this film does very well. So the movie opens essentially establishing what the Barbie world is like. Barbie's world is mostly populated by Barbies and only a handful of Kens. So in her world, women run that shit. Issa Rae is the president Barbie. Like that's lets you know they got a black woman president. Women are running shit in Barbie world. And we open with a montage showing all sorts of Barbies working in all different kinds of high-level fields, doctors, therapy, all that kind of shit. Not working at fucking Jiffy Lube or some shit. Like they're like doctors and professors. They're winning awards. The Nobel Peace Prize goes to Barbie. That kind of shit. And then they're just generally happy, successful, because there's so few men there to fuck it up. And the handful of Kens who are there just spend their time obsessing over how to impress the Barbies. And the concept is that all these Barbies are alive within their Barbie world, but they're also actively being played with as toys in the real world. And so when Margot Robbie's Barbie, who is referred to as the stereotypical Barbie, which, I mean, even that was smart. But I'll get to that in a minute. But when stereotypical Barbie's owner starts getting into some dark thoughts, that sparks changes in both Margot Robbie's Barbie and within her world. And then she's sent on a mission to essentially go into the real world and cheer up the girl who is going through it. And that will also, in addition to helping that girl, that will also help prepare what's going on in Barbie's world. So from that point on, like I said, Barbie's world starts to change, and this thing really gets going. Barbie goes to the real world, and she's immediately greeted with real world shit. She's met with sexual harassment as soon as she gets there. Sexual harassment that ironically makes her feel like an object. Like, I thought even that's clever to me. But that same dynamic makes Ken feel better about himself. He was wandering around the Barbie land depressed because he can't get Barbie's attention. Then he goes to the real world as Ryan Gosling, and of course, he's being treated phenomenally, and that makes him feel better about himself. It helps with his self-confidence when he's among people who are showing him respect. Not a crazy thought, really creative way to get it across with Barbie and Ken. But he falls in love with the way he's treated in this world that is largely populated, and not just populated by men, but men are, just like in real life, largely in charge. And he learns about things like horses and toxic masculinity. Of course, he doesn't see it as toxic because it benefits him, but yeah, like I said, incredibly creative way to get those concepts across. Meanwhile, Barbie sees men with all the jobs, men in power, with influence, and being served by subservient women who couldn't be happier to bring their man a drink. And in Barbie's world, and in her mind, these women could be president. And she's looking at them over here fucking happily serving drinks and shit. But so, like I said, interesting concept, right? But even then, that's even not all that's good about this movie. That's not even all that was a weird... I don't know what made me say that. This movie has a great message told in a really creative, unique, and fun way, yeah, but it doesn't stop there. So this shit's funny too, like legit funny. Like the whole cast is great and hilarious. Margot Robbie, she does an excellent job of first and foremost looking like a real life Barbie. The movie even makes a great joke about her appearance that's kind of like a weird breaking of the fourth wall almost. But that was really clever. She's hilarious, but also used that humor and a bit of naivete to make insightful comments about her surroundings that I'm sure little girls are gonna be like, oh, my 6-year-old walked out of this movie like that movie is the shit and Ken is a piece of shit. Like, of course she didn't say those things, but like that was the energy she got out of it. And of course, as a man, there's part of me that doesn't want a woman, or in this case, my daughter, to take away a lesson like that to a degree. But it's not men that are bad. It's that man who's bad and that behavior that's bad. And that's a lesson I do want her to take away. So, I again, wildly effective this movie is. But where was I with Margot Robbie? She plays the character with a very healthy amount of curiosity, but also with passion. And I didn't expect to be as impressed with her as I was in this movie. Ryan Gosling, also equally great as Ken. Both when he's in Barbie Land, being subservient and pining for Barbie's affections, he's fucking hilarious. He uses the word beach magnificently throughout this movie. And then even after he becomes infected by patriarchy, it's still a great performance of not entirely different, but a Ken character that has a different mindset. And he was great with that as well. Kate McKinnon shows up as Weird Barbie, and they call her that both to her face and to her behind her back. and she really leans into that name. She's absolutely fucking hilarious in this thing. I'm not a huge Kate McKinnon fan. Like, she has her moments, but she goes like, sometimes a role calls for an actor, especially a comedic actor, to kind of like go full them. And then sometimes the role kind of calls them to dial it back and go like a more conservative version of them. Conservative version of Kate McKinnon works for me. Over the top version doesn't, except here. It really fucking worked in this shit, man. She was awesome in this movie. Will Ferrell, who I generally don't like at all, is in this as the president of Mattel, and he's what I was talking about. He's the perfect amount of Will Ferrell to not irritate me. Like, generally, I just find him not to be funny, but he was the perfect level of Will Ferrell. I thought he was great. It's the same way I feel about Martin Short on Only Murders in the Building. Generally, I don't like Martin Short. I love him on that show. He's the perfect level of Martin Short. If he was any more Martin Short, I wouldn't like it. Michael Cera is the only non-kin male in Barbie Land. His name's Alan. And I mean, Michael Cera's awkwardness in this Barbie world with everyone looking perfect and behaving perfectly and swooning over one another, and he's just there being Michael Cera. It's, again, perfect casting. All the secondary characters are great. Of course, they're all various versions of Barbie and Ken, but just like in real life, because you have like, hey, here's Postal Service Barbie. But, they're still all Barbie. But that makes for fun writing when everyone has the same name. But Kingsley Ben-Adir and Simu Liu are great versions of Ken in this movie. Issa Rae, like I mentioned, she plays the president. She's great. Even John Cena shows up in this one as a version of the Ken. Issa Rae probably has like the best line in the movie. Even the fucking soundtrack is is good. Like, the movie opens with this song called Pink by Lizzo. And it's remember I told you guys, like, it opens with like a montage of like what life is like in Barbie world, where you see them all winning awards and shit like that. This Lizzo song plays over it. I'm like, yo, why is this song insanely fucking catchy? And then my daughter's like, we want to listen to the Barbie song. I'm like, oh man, okay. Like, turn this shit on. Like, okay. But there's several other good songs as well, highlighted by the remake of the Aqua song Barbie Girl, which some of you who are about my age will probably remember from the 90s, I believe. This version has Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, which I would think I wouldn't like, but a lot of stuff I thought I wouldn't like about this movie, and here we are. The visuals are outstanding. I love how vibrant and lively the colors are. Like, it's great to look at. I mean, this movie's without a lot of flaws, man, if I'm keeping it a buck. Like, it's not going to be out here winning Oscars and shit, but, like, it's not a lot of mistakes in this one, man. This is a good one. The only thing I didn't like was this one scene where Erica Ferrera's character, she rants about the paradoxical nature of being a woman in America. And it's a great rant, replete with very factual statements. And it's also really heavy-handed and very overtly meant to bait the audience. Like, and that I don't like. Like, it's very meant to have all the women in the audience going, yes, queen, and doing all that shit. Don't overtly and obviously try to manipulate me like that. Like, everything in the rant was factual, but it was too long, and it was unabashedly the film equivalent of, like, engagement farming on social media. Like, I know this, like the film equivalent of, I know this will get a lot of retweets. Like, that's what this scene was. If that scene was a tweet, it would have a bazillion fucking retweets. That's what I think that was. But I want to kind of close with what I think was the most shocking thing about this movie, which was how beautiful the ending was. So Barbie reaches this moment where she wants to decide, and I'm not going to spoil it. So I said no spoilers, so I'm not going to say what happens. But she reaches this moment where she but chooses to decide whether or not she wants to go back to her Barbie world or stay in the real world. And it goes through this montage of, like, the pros and cons of being a real girl, I guess would be the best way to put it. And I'm legit watching this scene like, what movie am I even watching right now? Because this is gorgeous, this is moving, this is profound, and this is the fucking Barbie movie. And then it has like this shot that's like of her eyes, and it's just like, what? It's so artful, and like, I don't know, man. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It was like the most pleasant surprise to be met with such a beautiful scene at the end of this movie. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm like everyone else. I'm mostly like everyone else. This is a must-see movie in my book. Like, I don't know what to say, man. Like I said, I'm not going to get hyperbolic. That's where I stop. I'm not going to get hyperbolic and call it important or groundbreaking or something like that. Or like, oh, so-and-so should win an Oscar. I'm not going to go that far. But this movie took a concept that felt like it was going to be a stone cold cash grab for the parents of little girls, i.e. me. But they went out and they got Greta Gerwig to make it, and she produced a film that's profound, insightful, creative, funny as fuck. And it just left me kind of shocked at the swings that it took and the way it knocked the ball the fuck out of the park. So, great job by everyone involved in this one. Big fan of this movie, man. I intend, like, once it's released digitally, I'm going to watch it again. I can't wait for my wife to watch it. I took my daughters to see it, but I can't wait for my wife to watch it. I can't wait to watch it again. It was a really good time. So, yeah, big thumbs up, man. This one is gonna join. This one's gonna join Oppenheimer in my highest recommendations. Again, they're not the same movie, but like, they were equally enjoyable, just in different ways. So. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments, and I will see you guys next time for the next movie review. I don't know when that's gonna be. I intend on seeing the Ninja Turtles movie that just came out, but I probably won't do a review of that. So I don't know what the next one's going to be. But whatever that is, until then, peace.